What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of GH, this was a very interesting episode. Like, we're finally getting somewhere. It's about time. Um, I'm glad that Jax, stood his ground with Nina because Nina was trying her damnedest to get Jax to leave. Jax was like, nah, I'm not going nowhere. Jax said, no, I ain't going nowhere until I meet Mike. He said, when I meet Mike, I'll leave. And she just kept getting him to leave, talking about we ain't got no business to discuss, we ain't got nothing to talk about. We ain't... Girl, the jig is up. You might as well let it go. It's up. And when Mike walked in, Jax was shaking his head. He went, mm-hmm. He said, I knew it. And of course, Sonny wanted him to leave. And Nina was adamant that he leave. Jax was like, hell no. Jax said, I ain't going no damn where. Um, I don't blame him. You could tell Jax was really disgusted with Nina. Like, I feel like Jax was looking at her like, look, I will never mess with you again romantically after this. Um, because I agree with Jax on this. She's been living a fantasy life for months now with Sonny. And you could tell Sonny was confused when Jax was talking to him like Sonny, like he would Sonny. He was confused by it. Um, Nina is just despicable. Like, as much as Jax hates Sonny and they both hate each other, I don't think Jax would ever go that low to know that, hey, Sonny's alive, but I'm gonna keep it a secret. I don't think he would go that low. I would hope not. You know what I mean? Because even me, I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy. You know, especially when you're connected. Jax is connected to the same people that Sonny is. And the funny thing is, Jax ruined his relationship with Michael for the sake of Nina, just to win her back. Like, he blackmailed his former stepson, who he had a great relationship with, ruined all of that just so Nina could be around a grandson that she barely spends time with. She wasn't even there for the boy's birthday. You know what I mean? Because you want to play this little fantasy island game with Sonny. Well, the fantasy is over. It's time to wake up and get back to reality. And I'm glad Jax let her know. Like, it's over. It's time to snap out of it. It's time to get back to reality. Because Nina was talking like she's crazy. Oh, we're in love. I'm happy. He's the best thing ever happened to me. That man has children. He has grandchildren. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, you look like a fool. You look like a nutball. Let this go. Let it go. It's over. Thank God Almighty, we are free. Um, so hopefully Jax could talk some sense into them, and Sonny might spark a memory or something and start remembering. But I'm glad Jax got there when he did. Thank the good God. Thank God Almighty. So anyway, moving on from that. So another little interesting tidbit happened when Jordan, Curtis, and Portia were at the house, and mind you, it's the same house, the Spencer house. They use that set all the time. I love when they break out that set. Um, I believe they even used that set back then for Carly old house too, when her and Sonny got a divorce, and she was, engaged to Jax, and they got married before they moved to the lake house. That was Carly old house. I love it. Cause I think Carly, yeah, same house. So anyway, they sitting there trying to check the place out, and they go to the basement because they noticed that the window was broken. So they go up in there, Jordan checking out the basement or whatever, and she sees somebody laying on a couch or whatever. So she's trying to, wake the guy or see if he all right. And she checked for a wallet, and it's the guy that they're looking for. That they're all there trying to talk to. Somebody creeped up, some dude creep up behind her and knock her out. I was like, Jordan, as a cop, the first thing you do when you walk into a room is you clear the room. Before you check on a person that's laying there, you clear the room. You look all around the room. You check every nook and cranny. That's what cops do, Jordan. You check every nook, every cranny. Just to make sure that there ain't no criminal up in there that can do that to you. Like, didn't they teach you that in the academy? I'm just saying, inquiring minds. Um, so she get knocked out. Dude run upstairs. Curtis chased him out the house. Now he chasing him into the woods. Portia, was out there trying to call 911 or whatever. I was like, you got a private investigator there and a police commissioner, but I guess. Um, kudos for her for having the good sense, I guess, to call for backup. So she go down there to check on Jordan or whatever, trying to get her up, and now they locked in the basement, and there's a gas leak. I said, "Oh Lord, have mercy." Y'all are about to become kibbles and bits in a minute if y'all don't get out of here. Y'all are about to become bits and pieces. And you know what? You know, and Curtis, he's sitting there knock the guy out because he got to run back because you know the dude told him like, oh, they in the basement or whatever. So Curtis trying to run back and get to the house. I said, I hope he can make it. You better run like Carl Lewis. Better do something. Better get the hauling. Um, Portia mentioned something very intriguing after Jordan lost consciousness again. You know, she mentioned that she can't go out like this because she got to tell Trina the truth about her father. Excuse me? Are we finally going to get the confession that I've been waiting for? The truth about her father? So you mean to tell me if Taggart really ain't her father and Curtis really is, when Curtis was damn near on his deathbed not so long ago, why didn't she think that it was important then to tell Trina the truth? Like, if that's her dad and he was close to death, why didn't you tell him that? Why didn't you tell them? That's what I don't understand. I don't get Portia. And I kind of like Portia, but all the secrecy, it's like, it's tacky. It's like, tell that girl the truth. Like, if Taggart ain't, and a part of me feel like Taggart, no. A part of me, I really feel like Taggart, he's intuitive enough to figure it out. I feel like he probably know that Trina's not his real daughter. Something tells me. I don't know. It's always been nagging at me that he might know. Like I said, he may know. He may or he may not. It's just me guessing at this point. But it's interesting because I was like, it's about time. It's about time, Portia. Let the truth shall set you free. So anyway, moving on from that. Jason trying to figure out where Carly is or whatever. Find out where she at and whatnot. And, Jocelyn mentioned that Monica was there. So she's probably thinking, well, Monica visited, so maybe, that could have upset Carly or whatever. So Jason wanted to talk to her about, his history with AJ and their history and all that stuff. So he called Spinelli, because if anybody could find Carly, it would be Spinelli. So anyway, moving on from that. This Esme girl. Like I said before, I'm intrigued by her because I want to know what she's up to. Like, what is her end game to all of this? But Trina, normally I would want Trina to knock her silly. Like, seriously. But I love how Trina is not being played by her. Like, she's not being stupid. Like, she's putting pieces together. You know what I'm saying? Which leads back to the whole stalker situation. Like, Trina feels like Esme is definitely the stalker because it baffled her. Like, for one, why would you call Kiki Lauren? Two, why would you go to the gallery to go see Ava? It didn't make any sense. You know what I mean? And Nick and Spencer, his whole logic is, well, when Kiki died, she was all over the paper, all over the news. Wasn't this girl from Europe? Or she lived in Europe or something? How would she know about what's going on in Port Charles? Kiki's death wasn't international news. It's local news. So why would she know about it? You know what I mean? Like, why would anybody international would know about a local situation? You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of murders, I'm sure, that happen in Europe that I don't know anything about because it's international. I don't know what's going on internationally unless it has something to do with a terroristic attack or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, unless it's major. But little murders and local crimes like that, we wouldn't know nothing about that. Not unless you go looking for it. But something just ain't right with this girl. Now she's sitting there trying to accuse Trina of wanting her boyfriend. I'm like, well, your boyfriend was openly flirting with her and he never mentioned your name. You should be mad at him. He never mentioned you. You know what I mean? Like, Trina had no idea about you until you popped up. And as much as I like Trina and Spencer together, he need to get this little voodoo chick out of his face. Like, he really do, because he seemed like he under her spell. Like, a part of him, wants to chase after Trina and apologize. Like, he was even trying to send Trina an apology text. You know what I mean? But Esme was like, oh, why would you do that? Why would you? He need to stop listening to this girl. Like, this girl is about to get him in a whole lot of trouble. He already in trouble. You know, it's like you're just letting her lead you by the nose at this point. It's like, Spencer, get a backbone. Um, but Trina felt like she played into their hand or whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, she's on to something. Spencer and Esme know that she's on to something. That's why he had to deny and re- refute everything she was saying, because if they sit there and ignore it, then it feels like it's confirmation that what she's saying is true. So they're gonna have to publicly deny it, you know. But I mean, if I was Trina, I would be very careful of Esme because she seemed dangerous and psychotic. So if you get a little too close to exposing her, you know how people like that react. They feel like, oh, I got to get rid of you now. So it's best that she just be careful on this one. So anyway, moving on from that. Nicholas and Ava. I love them together, but they are draining me. Like, every time I watch their scenes, I feel like I need a drink. I do. I feel like I need a drink of alcohol, and I don't even drink. Like, they are exhausting. Like, you could clearly see they want to be together, they want to be a couple, but this whole stalker thing just got Ava spooked. And I understand that Ava's doing this to protect not only her and Nicholas, but Avery and stuff like that. I get it, but I miss the old Ava. I miss Ava, man, when she would just go get her gun and set it off. I miss that Ava. Like backbone Ava. That's the Ava I know, and I miss it. I feel like they kind of took her edge a little bit, and I don't like that. I mean, I love seeing her vulnerable and a different side to her, but I need that badass Ava Jerome. That's what I need. Because if this was a few years ago, Ava would have never let no stalker run her out of town or run her life, period. She would have, suited up and handled business. But Nicholas, he's stubborn. So, of course, Nicholas is not about to sit there and, let a little restraining order keep him from seeing Ava and talking to her. But those two big bodyguards she hired might stop him. And I cannot believe those bodyguards beat up Nicholas. And the way Ava ran in there screaming, telling them to stop, and all they could say is, oh, my bad, or I'm sorry. No, fool, you wasn't supposed to beat him up. Like, what are you doing? Like, this whole thing is just crazy. Then how Nicholas was trying to get her to kiss him and stuff. It's like, this whole relationship back and forth between them is such a roller coaster. Like, it's up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, y'all need to figure out what y'all gonna do. Like, are y'all gonna be a couple? Like, what are we doing? Because this whole stalker thing is just getting crazy. But anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section, let me know what y'all thought about it. I will see you all later. Peace.